George Floyd's relatives saw yesterday's murder conviction as a sign of progress, but they said there is still a lot of work to do. Shareeduh Tate is George Floyd's cousin, and she joins us via Zoom this midday. Shareeduh, thanks so much for joining us. You're still in Minneapolis, right?
Yes.
And so talk to me about your experience. You were there in the courtroom, you watched all of this happen, and then finally the moment yesterday when your family heard the verdict.
Well, it was overwhelming joy for all of us to hit that final, what we feel like is just what we've been fighting for almost the last year. Prior to getting the call for us to actually make a move to the area where we would be held until the actual verdict was read, we were just kind of sitting around, and several times it was kind of like in our minds we had thought that if we got the jury deliberations to come back, deliberate and come back sooner, that it would be positive for us. So as we were headed over there, our thought process was that this is probably going to be good for us that they came back so quickly. But for me, I think it was the first time that I really just had an opportunity to release. I had what I felt like a burden that was lifted. Once I heard the first case, the tears started to roll. And by the time they said that the third charge that he was found guilty of, I mean, I was literally in tears. I actually was embracing with Reverend Jesse Jackson, and we both were crying with each other at the moment that we finally heard that third charge.
And so now you're waking up today and you're seeing reaction, there in Minneapolis, in the state, around the country and the world. What's your impression as people feel that same sense of relief?
Well, I mean, it's been something that the family has felt. The strong support and encouragement that we've received pretty much around the world has been one of the things that's helped us to be able to go through this. And so in many ways, it feels like, although it's very personal for us, everyone else was grieving right along with us. So I think as relieved as we were feeling that justice was served, I think the country and the world was feeling the same way.
So there's kind of a connection and a common bond there. And you've got this now passion and this foundation to go and help the world, to help people here in the United States and around the world who are experiencing the same thing that you went through. Tell us about that.
Well, yes, it was kind of something that was born. I kind of describe it as when, pain meets purpose. We were all grieving, and then we were thinking about what is it that we can do to channel this energy that we have into being something positive. It's something that could be part of Perry's legacy. And so the foundation was birthed out of that process for us. And it's just an opportunity for us to do our work in social justice, where we help with police reform, the acts such as the one on the federal level and the George Floyd Policing Act in Texas. We hope to see both of those come to fruition, and also to see similar bills in the other 49 states as well. And in addition to that, we have programs for mentoring for the youth and workforce development. So in the youth, there'll be opportunities to have scholarships and camps and have mentors. And for the workforce development, there are people who maybe perhaps need a second chance or maybe need to go to a trade school. And so these are all things that we want to do to empower the community so that they can do better, and also at the same time look at ways to make sure that there's an accountability piece for officers who have taken the oath to protect and serve.
That's a lot of initiatives that you have there, and it sounds like it's just the full package of what George Floyd would want. He is your cousin. What do you think he would be saying about this foundation, about the verdict, this moment that our country is experiencing right now?
I think he would be proud. I think he would be proud, one, because we joke about this a little bit, because he used to always say that everybody, he was going to be famous and people were going to know his name. And so most definitely that is the case now. But I think he would be proud that his family has been able to work together collectively to try to make a change, and to see that he has been able to be a catalyst for a movement that has pretty much changed the world. I mean, Gianna coined it the best. Daddy changed the world, and I think he has done just that.
Oh, incredible words. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back on as the foundation gets up and running and find out how the community and the country can engage with the foundation and make those dreams become reality. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.